Well, hello, it's Cliff here. In this video I want to talk about traveling with your guitar. I want to travel with my guitar, but I don't want to carry a full-size guitar in its case. This is too big and bulky and expensive and hassle. I'm a bit of a minimalist and I want to travel light and I want to travel simple. So I've been looking at videos. What type of guitar can I put inside my ordinary medium-sized case? You know, the little folding guitars and the little tiny travel guitars. And I've been disappointed with them. The reviews show me that they don't sound good, they don't play well. The ones that I've looked at don't sound good and don't play well. The only guitar really that sounds like a big guitar and is small is the Taylor GS Mini. It's a wonderful little guitar. It's got a big sound. It's a beautiful guitar, but it's just a little bit too big to go inside my case. And sure, you can carry it in its own case, but it's still a separate bulky item that costs more and is vulnerable to damage. Then it occurred to me, well look, these have got removable necks. Why can't I just remove the neck and put it in my case? And so this video is all about that subject. Can I do that? How easy is it to do it? How long does it take to do it? So at the start of this journey I reached out to Taylor, sent them an email. I won't disclose the recipient, but I'll give you some general information. I said I am a New Zealand-based industrial designer with a couple of YouTube channels, and I want to investigate refining the procedure of neck removal to make the GS Mini guitars more compact and fit in a suitcase and be more practical for travel and so on. And then they got back to me quite quickly and said, thanks for writing. We would not want to encourage end users to remove the neck themselves. While the process may appear simple enough with our bolt-on neck design, there's a lot that can go wrong. Our certified techs go through extensive training to fully evaluate the guitar and understand when, why and how to make a neck angle adjustment and so on. So that was really the crux of it. Okay, so I'm sailing alone on this one, but I still wanted to investigate the procedure. So what I found was that it's not actually that difficult. It's a very quick process. It takes a few minutes to take the neck off and a few more minutes to put it back on again, but it's certainly not a problem. It does take a little bit of skill. You do need to have a bit of mechanical aptitude. I'd say most guitarists would have good dexterity and would be able to do it okay. But, you know, if you know you're clumsy around nuts and bolts, then perhaps this isn't a procedure for you. There are a few things that could go wrong. You could strip the threads if you cross-threaded the bolts. You could over-tighten it and damage your guitar. You need to understand about cleaning out the seat and where the shims go. There's a few little things like that, but I know a lot of guitarists are highly skilled, intelligent people, and they can work this out if they're keen. So stay with me. I'll do a very brief overview video showing you how you can remove your neck and put it back on again. Without giving any of the technical details, this will just be an overview video. If you like the procedure, then watch the follow-up video, which will be full of all of the technical details and will be much more long-winded. Alrighty, cheers. Alright, well now I'm ready to remove the neck. So let's just imagine that we are removing the neck and putting it in our suitcase. Let's see how long it takes from go to woe. So we're going to loosen off the strings. I'll go through them all and get back to you on that. Well, that only took a minute with this little plastic winder, unscrewing each of the tuning keys about 10 turns, and now we have plenty of room there now with the loose strings, and we can get a 3/16 Allen key or hexagon key and slip a hand inside, feel where the head is, engage the key in the head. And while I'm talking, I'm not doing a very good job of this, but there it is in there now. And I can loosen off the lengthways key quite easily there until it's finger loose, and then I can get in there with my fingers and remove it. Now it is finger loose. Look, I might be able to just spin the shank of the key. There we go. There's the lengthwise screw, and same process again with the same key with the engage in there, loosen it off. Right, so we unscrew that second screw, there it is there, and we can now remove the neck. It's pretty simple. Obviously the first time it's stuck in place with the cosmetic caulking, but once you've removed that, it's pretty simple. Comes out quite easily, and now we're ready to fold the neck over and put it in a suitcase. Okay, so let's put it in a case. This is an average size case, and we'll put a jacket over the top of it and we'll drop it in. The neck down beside it. Probably wrap it up a bit more carefully, but this is just to give you an idea. Put your jacket round it. So with the case extension raised up, it's probably taking up about half the volume of the case, which is plenty of room for me because I don't carry a lot of clothes, especially if we're going to a hot climate. You could use a bigger case, but that's still enough space in there, and you can put small things inside the guitar like socks and so on. So to give you an idea of sizes, this case, a medium-sized case, is 22 inches long or 560 millimeters and 16 inches wide or 400 millimeters, and the GS Mini has a length of 370 millimeters or 14.5 inches of the body. And what's the neck length? The neck is a little bit longer. Forgot to measure that, didn't I? Let's have a look. The neck is just under about 22.5 inches or 575 millimeters long. So that's given me plenty of room in there. So I could pack that up a bit more carefully and head off overseas. So that whole process really, once you've done it a few times, probably only takes 5 minutes. It's not a big deal. Certainly if you're going away for a week's holiday in one place, then 5 minutes to pack it up, and at the other end, however long it takes to set it up, I'll go through that process as well. We'll know how long it is at the other end. Well, this is a very light case. It only weighs a few pounds, so that gives me a lot of weight allowance left over. I'm not sure it's ideal for carrying a guitar. Probably a plastic shell case would be better. This has got metal, probably aluminium frames in the bottom, so that protects the back of it. And if I put a couple of jackets or most of the clothing over the top, it should stand reasonable impact. They're quite strong, these bodies and necks, but obviously it wouldn't stand someone standing on the case, but I don't think they're treated quite that violently in transit. I might invest in a plastic shell case. Alright, well, let's imagine we've just arrived at Tahiti or Hawaii and we're a bit jet lagged. So we just take it out of the case, stick it on the floor, and in the morning, when we've had some coffee, we put it back together. So what's involved in that? How long does that take? I'll put the screws in now and give you a rough idea of how long it takes to do that. So in a following technical video, I'll go into the technical details of this, but I've changed one of the screws so that they are both the same type of screw, both using a 316 AF hexagon key. That makes it a bit easier. Alright, so let's put those screws in. Start off with the lengthways one, screw that in there, then put in the face screw, or whatever that one's called. You need to have reasonable mechanical aptitude to do this. If you're if you're a guitarist, you probably have got good dexterity. It's a little bit of a fiddle, especially while I'm talking, but there you are. I've got both the screws engaged there now, and I can tighten those up pretty quickly. Yeah, that's one tight. So there we go, both the screws in, tighten them up with the Allen key and tune it up. The whole thing wouldn't take more than a few minutes. I mean, the first time might take you half an hour to get used to it, but after that you could do it in a couple of minutes to dismantle and a couple of minutes to reassemble. And then you've got a really fine sounding guitar, not a tinny little travel guitar, but a really nice Taylor GS Mini with a great sound for your stay in Tahiti or Hawaii. Well, thanks for watching that overview video. I've got my GS Mini back together now. I've got that beautiful sound back. And if you're interested in this for yourself, have a look at the follow-up technical video. I also took the opportunity to lower the action. This GS Mini, like a lot of them I gather, had very high action. Perhaps not initially, but after a few months it developed very high action, and so I've took the opportunity to source some new shims and correct the action. So this technical follow-up video will be about the technical details of neck removal, replacing the shims, and just what's involved in doing it in a real-world travel situation. So have a look at that video if you found this procedure interesting. Cheers.